guys, this is me, Malorian, and this video here will be my final thoughts on Steamroller 33 that I just went to this last weekend. You guys should have seen all the 4 battle ports coming before this, and if you haven't seen those yet, you probably want to see those first because you're going to be getting a spoiler here, so just fair warning. In this here, I'm going to kind of be talking about my thoughts on how I did. I'm going to let you know my results on it, and kind of talking about my lists and things like that. So, first of all, how did I end up? Well, going into it, I was hoping to be going for a kind of, 3-1, 4-0 would be good, but probably 3-1 is where I'm going to end up. But definitely, I'm wanting to try and do better because so far here in Mark III, I've not been getting the really good results I've been looking for. So I want to have a good showing somewhere here in Mark III, and I wanted this to be kind of the time. With that, I really felt I was going to be putting my best foot forward, going with these theme lists, right? Going with the Cephalix one, where in my list I'm getting a free 8 points and free rules on my models where guys can ambush and hyper aggressive onto my monstrosities, and then also going with the Kingmaker where it's awesome, locking guys down, people don't see it coming, and I'm getting 17 free points. Now, how did I end up was 4-0, which was awesome. I went through the whole thing undefeated, did very well all the way through. Every single game I won by control points, and my opponents were strong opponents, so that I got a really high strength of schedule, which actually ended up with me winning first place, which is amazing. That was awesome. I really thought that, I wasn't going to get that high, and then with this one here where there's multiple undefeated, it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe we'll get second or something, but this is awesome. It's been a little while now since I've gotten first, and so it's good to see, like, okay, that's awesome, I got that, I can put it on the shelf, and, it's kind of a little reset of like, okay, we know we can win again, and maybe it's almost like a ticket saying I can go and jank again, but it's kind of almost open to more thing where I would be a little bit more competitive because I think I found a few more little things I can be doing better while I was playing this. Now, let's talk about my list for a second. First of all, my Cephalix list. This is one I've been playing a whole bunch so far, and I was running with Thexus with the 2 Wreckers, double Pressgangers with Dominator, double Mind Benders, double Mind Slavers, Overlords, and then an Agitator. And it's been doing very well. It's a great one for scenario where I can block things out, but I'm starting to find more and more that it actually does very well at attrition. When I can get in there and I can send my wreckers in and smashing things, when they're have the little instate going on, they're mat 7, and then, mat 9 if I turn the thing around, and then POW 19 with, 5 attacks each if they're all fill up, and I get a free charge if Thexus is around. Like, they do lots of work. And then their adrenal floods too. I'm getting a lot better at doing the adrenal floods. And that one second game and the first game against Circle, where normally, I'd be like, oh, I can't really do too much to these beasts, I was trying to hold them back. No, I'm just going to adrenal flood and take these guys out. So that was a real eye-opener where I'm starting to see just how much more heavy the attrition can be here. And with that, I think I'm going to be pushing a little bit more for the 60 Drudge build. I tried it out once before and I did like it. I was trying to just find the models, and so for my brother I got the metal unit here of the old Slavers, so now I got a 3rd unit of those, and then from winning I got 40 bucks from that, which I used to go buy another box of the Mind Benders, and so once I put those guys together, I'm good to go for that list. I'm still kind of wondering if Siphon might be a better model to be as the caster there than Thexus, but that'll just be awesome. All of a sudden now I can be doing 9 adrenal floods per turn. I'll be getting another free unit of Overlords, and I know there's been some people that have been saying, you should have been doing this from the start, but I've been loving those Pressgangers, and this has to be good. If I'm thinking about putting my Pressgangers back on the shelf, this has got to be really good. I think it is, so I'm going to be playing with that a little bit more. I should also say that I'm not looking forward to having to paint 20 more Drudges, but for some reason at this event, I also got 2 votes for Best Painted, which is crazy because, one, I don't see my stuff as being good. There's other guys that spend lots of time doing awesome looking things, and also in this here, I had some unpainted models, so thank you to whoever voted for me, but, I don't think I really deserve it. Otherwise, in my second list, I did the Kingmaker one, and this is one that actually changed. If you would have actually gone and listened to my pre-thought video, I told you it's my normal one there, where it was originally Magnus 2, 3 Nomads, a Renegade, and then I have the 2 units of Rangers, I have the mini unit of Trenchers, max unit of Long Gunners, max unit of Steelhead Riflemen, and then from that I get a free Stannis, I get a free Kill Baylock, and a free Madeline Corbeau. Well, it turned out that I had a real problem that one of the Nomads I've been using this whole time was a proxy, because I was using a Rocinante. And normally I don't think that'd be a big deal, but I was really worried about this one, so I tried getting a new one. It wasn't in, I couldn't find a replacement, and it was going to be a thing where I was going to go to the store first thing in the morning and glue this together, but instead, when I was putting everything on my tray, it realized that it was jam-packed, and either I'd have to have my whole baking sheet full and then all my jacks in my hand, or I could change my list, take those jacks out, and then put in a galleon. And it's a lot easier to hold a galleon in one hand and the tray in the other. And the other thing too is that with that I had a few more points, so that then I could take Madeline Corbeau normally, and then for a free one, add in Orin Midwinter. So that's where this came in here. I did again forget the Orin Midwinter at home, but this was really good. I was always kind of wondering how Galleon would do compared to the Nomads, and it was nice to have that extra shooty element and that threat of pulling things in, plus the fact that I could throw Magnus farther. I mean, that's just a ridiculous trick where I pop my feet and then I throw my caster forward, and now you can't come towards me, you can't shoot me, you can't magic me, and that's really powerful. So having it so I can throw myself a little bit further, it's a stronger hit against Magnus, so it's really going to hurt him, but I can always then recover from that, heal up, get away, and it's not really that big of a deal. But it really did seem to work fairly well. I actually, yeah, like I said, I kind of like it. Again, in this build, instead of the old one where I was getting 16 free points, this is now 17 free points, and it really did catch my opponent off guard completely. Going into this, he had no idea why I was throwing my caster, and it was kind of like you were like, oh, moment when I was like, I can't move towards these flags. I'm not really sure if my build of it is the best, if maybe I should be having more of a melee element, because sometimes when I pop my feet, things can run through that are further back, and if I instead have more things like halberdiers and stuff like that, they could run up and make kind of like a guardian kind of wall type thing. But then again, I'm not really sold on that, because if my opponent has other shooty pieces or magic, they could probably always just clear a hole anyway, so I don't know if it's really the best thing. So, and again, because my other one is so combat, it's nice to have the second list. It's more of a range thing, so I still got to play with that. I'm not 100% sold on my list for that Kingmaker, but all of a sudden I have a lot more respect for using the Galleon, whereas before I was like, no, that's a chump, take some Nomads. And again, just this theme in general is really good. And that's maybe something to say too. I was the only mercenary player there, and so that means I was the only person getting the free benefit of these themes. And that's a really big deal, right? 17 free points on this one here, free feign death on all my infantry models. That's amazing. You know, the whole access to other models, you can just say, we're like, well, if things are all balanced, that doesn't matter. But then you look over at the Cephalix, it's like, yeah, again, I just get 8 free points, 16 free points if I go with the 60 Drudges, and then my monstrosities, they get hyper aggression for free, which I normally find doesn't come up, but sometimes can be huge. And then as well, I get the 1 unit that can ambush. And so it's just a massive advantage. And I do know, like, in a year, when all the other ones are out, I'll have to kind of deal with that. But hey, right now I felt that mercenaries were the best way to go, and hey, it gave me the win, so why not? So otherwise, really, really happy with all that stuff. Expect to be seeing more mercenary stuff coming on. If you have any thoughts on my games or those lists or anything like that, please post it down below. But hooray, I got first, and it was a lot of fun. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you later. Bye. Hey there guys, this is me, Malorian, and this is going to be a video of my final thoughts on Steamroller 33,